Hey everybody, it's FL799. Just want to have a quick discussion about a recent acquisition. An oldie but a goodie. That's a 182 series Mini-14. My brother, after numerous requests, found one for me. He seems to come across these quite a bit. And after several that passed through, we finally found the right one. And this one was a unfired 182 series. Legit, unfired, and very nice condition. And the reason why it had to be that, it was the same series that I owned back in the 80s and early 90s. These are the rifles that we cut our teeth on. Not that we didn't like the ARs. You really only had an SP1. My dad had one. And it was what you could get, and Rugers were available. Everyone had a Mini-14. My brother, of course, his first one was a factory side full GB, which was super nice. I think he paid $400 for that one, and these would go for $250, $300, maybe $350 at that time, maybe less. Colt SP1s, you'd see them on occasion, but it's not like you'd walk into the local store and there'd be a dozen of them. They just weren't out there like you'd think. Not like today. You walk into a store and there's 25 ARs of every price range on the wall. So picked up a couple new factory Ruger magazines, and it came with a couple decent ones. I took it out and shot it, and guess what? Still factory regulated at 55 grain at 50 yards, just as it left the factory. And even with that old thick front sight post and the skinny barrel, it still put holes where you pointed the rifle at. Still does what it was supposed to do. Is it a bench target carbine? No. But it sure as a hell will hit what you're aiming at. And it's still light and fast handling, and doesn't have the evil features. These weren't banned during the 94 crime bill. You notice we're clear. But I like the old ones because I love that brushed stainless look. They were well machined. You had nice roll marks, crisp. I always like the look of that rear sight. I know a lot of people hate them and change them out, but I like it. I like them just the way these were set up. So gets the job done. Put a vintage-looking sporter outdoorsy sling on it just to create the effect, but still makes a great overall sporting or self-defense weapon. Now, back in the old days, we tacked these out and put different stocks on them, and I think I drove off my front sight and put on a M14 style pin-on sight. You kind of ruin the flavor of it a little bit if you go too far with it. If that's the case, just get a new tactical one or find an older GB. But the A-Team Mini-14s were really modified versions of just a standard one. If you notice, Hannibal's, just a picture of Hannibal and the A-Team cast, and they just had those pin-on, clamp-on flash hiders. I think Cho-8, a couple companies made them at the time, and they had an upper handguard, I believe, was a universal M1 carbine stainless perforated upper handguard. Speaking of which, I think the early 182s, came with the wooden handguard, upper handguard, and later they transitioned to the more modern plastic one that went for the next 15 or 20 years until they did that redesign. I think it was in the 2005 or so when they retooled the Mini-14, or the yeah. So yeah, this is a little throwback for me. Geez, even at that time, we were the suckers who bought the muzzle light bullpup stock, and we at least put one Mini-14 in that muzzle light bullpup stock, which they still make, I believe. Had the sights that were like 6 inches high and horrible trigger. They were made of literally just plastic. Well, this was our rig. So blast from the past. I'll just throw this down here next to M1 carbine, and yeah, let's see here. Just for size comparisons, next to M14s, and do a little bit of the size comparison there. Next to an M1 carbine, very similar in size. People don't remember that Jim Sullivan and Bill Ruger designed this. Jim Sullivan literally took the AR-10 design, worked with Stoner, and scaled down the AR-10 to the AR-15. The prototypes, the 601, that was all Jim Sullivan. So his fingerprints are all over the Mini-14. He did borrow the gas system from the M1 carbine. So kind of a hybrid of some of the classics. So hope you enjoyed the video. Getting back, I haven't shot a Mini-14 in 25 years. And it was a nice experience. They're great shooters. You forget just how good they shoot. And they hit what you aim at them. I'll give that. I wouldn't be benching it at 100 yards, but you expect 3-inch groups out of it. But it's minute of man, and plenty accurate for most work that we'd be doing with it anyway. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Just want to just a quick conversation, discussion, and just some of my thoughts. Have a good one. Talk to you later.